So with the new Spider-Man movie coming out, and with how it so far is seemingly going to be the best live-action Spider-Man movie to date, with the greatest live-action interpretation of the character itself, I decided to finally make this video that I've had an idea of and have been holding for the right moment. I want to go over each live-action version of this character and their movies, to go over and explain which movie is my favorite one as of now, and out of the three actors, Tobey, Andrew, and Tom, who I feel portrays the character the best as a whole. So let's begin with the man who really started it all.
You'll get your rent when you fix this damn door!
I want to put some dirt in your eye.
The Raimi Spider-Man movies are the peak of nostalgia when it comes to a lot of people, me included. I grew up on these movies. These movies not only got me into Spider-Man as a character, but honestly got me into superheroes as a whole. And for the most part, the movies themselves are incredible. The first two movies outside of the superhero aspect are still just good movies. The acting performances are great, there's great drama, cool shots and scenes, and some of the strongest performances we've ever seen from superhero movie villains in general. Actually, funnily enough, as a kid, my favorite one of the trilogy was the third, which now is on the lower end of the list. But regardless of how good or bad the movies are, let's focus in on the character and the actor we are all here for, Tobey's Spider-Man. The general consensus is that Tobey has the strongest portrayal of Peter Parker, and I will say I agree somewhat in that aspect. That is what Tobey's portrayal does best. I think because of how soap opera-y the story and drama in these movies are, Tobey's Peter gets the spotlight and gets to shine more. These movies really focus in on Peter's personal life, and how being Spider-Man affects that. I mean, even all the villains are connected to Peter first before they even become adversaries for Spider-Man. Goblin was his best friend's dad, he met Otto and had dinner with him before he became Doc Ock, and he was even there for the presentation that turned him into Doc Ock. He was work rivals with Eddie before he became Venom, and Sandman was revealed to be the man who actually shot and killed Uncle Ben. Couple that with Harry becoming New Goblin, and all the drama with MJ, the Peter Parker aspects of the character is really in the forefront of it all, even when he's off doing Spider-Man things, which is why I believe people say Tobey has the strongest iteration of Peter. And I feel like this Peter has the highest sense of responsibility between all three actors, but I also feel like he's missing a couple things. For one, we are told he is smart, but we really don't get to see much of this on display. We hardly ever see his scientific expertise, and especially since he has organic webbing, we don't even get him making his own webbing and web shooters. Then the other thing I feel is missing, it's more of a Spider-Man aspect, so let's switch over to that. I feel Tobey has a pretty weak showing of Spider-Man. Not in the physical sense, but portrayal and character-wise. For the most part, I like his suit. I personally am just not the biggest fan of the sharp, angry-looking lenses. But the biggest problem I have is his Spider-Man just isn't funny. Well, at least not intentionally. In fact, he barely even speaks. His Spider-Man makes like maybe one joke a movie, and during fights he just doesn't talk, so he just seems super serious and angry all the time. He also just looks very stiff in his movement because of the suit. He may still have cool scenes and moments like the train fight or the final fight with Goblin, but you can still tell his Spider-Man is lacking. To give his portrayal a score, I'll give his Peter a 6 out of 10, which may seem low, but honestly, even though his Peter is the best aspect of his version, I still don't believe it's the best iteration. He's missing a few integral parts of his character that I feel are important, like being a little sassy / kind of a dick, at least in school, not being funny in the slightest, and not really seeming that scientifically smart. He's just kind of a sad, drama-filled character. I'll give his Spider-Man like a 3 out of 10. Not funny, doesn't joke around or even talk much at all, and looks very stiff in his movement. And then the trilogy as a whole, I'll give a 7 out of 10. The strong first two movies are being held back by a not so strong third. So to give him an overall rating, it would be about a 5.5 out of 10. And right now, here is my list of the movies in order of how I like them. Now it's time for the middle child of the group.
Just let me go.
Is that a knife? Is that a real knife?
Yes, it's a real knife.
My weakness, it's small knives.
I'm gonna throw you out the window now.
Andrew Garfield, the black sheep, the dark horse of the Spider-Man trio, the one who, at first, I refused to even watch the movies of, and whose movies, in my opinion, are very polarizing in quality. Now when it comes to the first Amazing Spider-Man, I absolutely love it. Aside from a few design choices like his butt-ugly suit and Lizard looking like, well, that. I really don't have any real problems with this movie. At first, I wasn't a fan of the focus on Peter's parents, but now I honestly don't mind it as much. It is a part of Spidey's lore, and its addition at least makes his version more unique and makes his version feel more fresh, even though we are just starting from the beginning origin story again. I also like that we start with Gwen here instead of jumping straight to MJ. These small changes do a lot to set his version of the character apart and make him feel more like a different Spider-Man. Now when it comes to the suit, like I said, I hate it. I think it is legit horrific. I genuinely don't see how some people defend and like this suit at all. The random bits of blue on the red parts of his arm and hand, the thin line of red going down the sides of his arms, how narrow the red part on the front is, the ugly web patterning, no belt so it's just this patch of blue with his massive blue bulge just staring at me, the disgusting orange lenses, the gross weird looking texture the suit has, and I was never a big fan of the long symbol on the front, especially the fact it matches the symbol on the back. I can appreciate them trying something new and different, but nothing about this suit works for me. Everything about it's just wrong. Also, I wish they would have leaned more into the lizardy reptile aspects for the lizard, instead of just making this weird humanoid alien looking thing. Other than that, I genuinely really like this movie the most out of all the movies so far. Then when it comes to the second movie, I think we all know what a mess that movie is. I mean, the only good things I have to say about the movie are the acting performances from Andrew and Emma, the suit being almost perfect, and some of the action sequences being really cool. But blah blah blah, let's get to the part that really matters. How Andrew plays and portrays Spider-Man. Now the general consensus on this one is while Tobey has the best Peter, Andrew is the best at being Spider-Man. And I actually do agree. I think Andrew is so good at playing Spider-Man. Even with the mask on, he's so good at conveying emotion with just the way he moves and his body language. And more importantly, he's actually funny. Or at the very least tries to be. He actually talks to the people he's going up against. He teases them, annoys them. The biggest problem I have with Andrew's version is his sense of responsibility is definitely not as high as the other two. Throughout his movies, he does seem a bit selfishly driven. His main motive in the movies are figuring out the shit with his parents. He ignores Captain Stacy's dying wish, which ultimately led to Gwen's death. He's honestly kind of a dickhead to May, and even though I was just praising him for being a Spider-Man that actually jokes around, sometimes he'll make sure he gets his joke off first, even if it's to the detriment of people around him. He is at least better than the others when it comes to actually keeping a secret identity. A bunch of people in his movies still find out because like drama or whatever, but he's still the best out of the three. 4 people know Andrew's identity. Gwen and her dad, Lizard and Harry. Meanwhile, every one of Tobey's villains know who he is, and MJ does too. And don't even get me started with that kid in the MCU. That motherfucker thinks the mask is optional or something. Now when it comes to how he portrays Peter, I have a bit of a hot take. And I genuinely think he also has the best portrayal of Peter Parker. Not only is he the perfect casting, but also I like that his Peter's a little sassy. And since he doesn't have organic webbings, we see him use his smarts to build the web shooters. And then throughout the first movie, his scientific smarts are something we see on full display. Stuff like that alone makes it more believable that this kid is some kind of super genius. People say that just because he rides a skateboard that all of a sudden that makes him too cool to be Peter. But like, can we grow up? Like I get it, it's a weird choice for them to add, but owning and riding a skateboard doesn't automatically make you cool. That's such a 5-year-old level mentality to me. He's awkward, he's sassy, he's smart, his responsibility is there, though maybe a bit lacking. Like, he's almost perfect. The biggest issue he has is just how he treats May, and because of the heavy focus on his parents, his connection with May and Ben doesn't feel as strong as it should. To give his Peter a rating, I'd go a 7 out of 10. Not perfect, but still, I think slightly better than Tobey's. His Spider-Man, I'd give a 9 out of 10. Almost perfect. If it wasn't for that car chase scene in the second movie and the dog-ass suit in the first one, this guy would have gotten full points. Then for his movies, while I rate the first one fairly high, the second one brings it down hard. So overall, the duology gets like a 6 out of 10. To give his version a final score, it would be about a 7. And here's the current standings of the movies in order.
You have a metal arm? That is awesome, dude.
Captain? Big fan of Spider-Man?
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Just...
Hey, everyone.
Now, if I said that certain things about Andrew's story and Spider-Man make him unique, this guy right here is the most unique out of all of them, for better or for worse. This guy is basically a new character altogether, damn near. Like, Tobey and Andrew feel like portrayals and iterations of the character from the comics, but this guy seems like a completely different take on the character, almost like an absolute version type shit. It makes this version of the character so much harder to rate. With Tobey and Andrew, I just used how closely accurate they are to the comic version of the character, plus of course some of my own personal bias to how I think Spider-Man should act or be. With Tom, he's just so different that rating him based off his comic book accuracy will give him a low score, but it's not like he's bad or anything. So I think I'm just gonna try to rate him based off what his version is trying to do and whether or not I like it, with some comic accuracy comparisons. So first, like the others, let's briefly talk about his movies. He has a very solid trilogy. Consistency wise, it's the best out of the group, as all of them are on a similar good to decent level, while the other two have one stinker in their group. Now people would say Far From Home is a stinker, and I've even seen people say it's the worst Spider-Man movie, but that's just an incredibly biased take not rooted in reality at all. This movie is not bad by any means. Sure, there are things I don't like about it, Spider-Man not saving New York but he's in a different country, and the different take on Mysterio, and I do hate how damn near everything about this Spider-Man in his trilogy is so connected to Iron Man. But this movie is not worse than Spider-Man 3, I'm sorry, and it sure as hell ain't worse than TASM 2. His trilogy is also received very differently. His movies are simultaneously perfectly rated and underrated at the same time. Homecoming was great, and I'll defend that movie in that suit forever. Far From Home receives the hate that TASM 2 and Spider-Man 3 should get, and No Way Home is talked about as either the greatest Spider-Man movie of all time or the worst. Though that movie really does show who the best Spidey is. I mean, this movie made me an Andrew truther. He legit mogs the other two. But now, to talk about his Peter and Spider-Man, I am just going to compare to the comics mostly. So, Tom's Peter is actually the Peter that everyone says Andrew's is. His character is the one that would be too cool to be Peter. Everyone seems to like this guy. His teachers like him, both girls he had a crush on and he asked out said yes, the whole decathlon team talk about how much they need him, no one ever picks on him except for Flash, but Flash is played as a joke in these movies, so most of the time when Flash is picking on or trying to bully Peter, no one reacts or cares, and the joke is really on Flash and how lame he is. That's one thing about these movies, is that it seems like instead of just showing what it's like to be a bullied teenage nerd in high school, they just use Flash as a PSA to show people, oh, look how lame and uncool you look if you try to bully people. Like, if you're gonna have the bully aspect, either do it or don't. The way they go about it is just kinda stupid. Anyways, the things I do really like about his Peter is he does have a very strong connection with May, though I hate the complete stiff arm they give Ben and his role in Peter's life. Also, I like that once again they do show how smart this kid really is. He also has a great sense of responsibility. The only thing is, it seems like in every movie he has to keep relearning his sense of responsibility, and the big payoffs at the end are always about that. But still, at least he shows it. His Spider-Man is okay, he at least talks and quips and fights, but because they really lean into how young Peter is, his Spidey just feels like little tyke Spider-Man. I hate how hard they lean into the high school era for Peter, because Spider-Man isn't just some young dumb kid who doesn't know what he's doing. He's a grown adult who doesn't know what he's doing. But because of the young impressionable kid aspect he has, he's constantly starstruck by everyone and everything, he constantly needs babysitting and hand-holding from other heroes or characters, and no one takes him seriously. His suits are also so bad in my opinion. The Homecoming suit has grown on me and I do kinda love it now, but the integrated suit is gross, the Iron Spider suit is gross, and I was never a fan of the red and black. I know some people love the red and black, but red and blue clears it literally so hard, I'm sorry. To get into the rankings, I'd give his Peter a 5 out of 10. I like certain aspects of him, like his close relationship with May, his brains being shown on full display, and how strong his sense of responsibility feels at times, but still, a lot of the time, I just find it hard to believe that this guy is Peter Parker. His Spider-Man I'll give a 6 out of 10. He has quips, he has jokes, he's got the moves, but because of the rules they had to play by because of the Sony and Marvel deal, he just struggles to be his own hero and find his own identity, and he is way too caught up in the Iron Man world to truly be Spider-Man. And lastly, his movies will get a 7 out of 10. I really like Homecoming and No Way Home, and even though Far From Home isn't my favorite, it isn't nearly as bad as people on Twitter will lead you to believe. So overall, he gets a 6 out of 10. And here are the final standings on the movies and which ones I think are the best to the worst. So after crunching the numbers and doing a deep dive analysis based on my own personal opinion and biases, I have come to the conclusion that Andrew really just is the GOAT. Tom follows him after, and Tobey closely lags behind. Which I know feels like heresy. I know Tobey grandfathered this shit, and none of this would be possible without him, but you can acknowledge that and still admit that they have improved on his adaptation. Tobey and Andrew have really strong showings of Peter, Andrew has far and away the best showing of Spider-Man, and Tom does okay in all aspects, but has consistency that the other two don't. I can't wait for Brand New Day to drop and for none of this to matter anymore because it's just going to be the best Spider-Man movie and the best showing of the character we've ever seen, or at least I'm hoping. But still, this is currently how I feel with my quick TLDR justifications for feeling this way. Just because I'm excited for the new movie and wanted to talk Spider-Man. But let me know, do you agree with anything said or should I be publicly stoned and executed? Let me know who your favorite Spider-Man is in the comment section below, and of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.